Ivanka Trump is at the center of a serious accusation that turns Iranian revenge against Trump into a threat within the presidential family itself. On May 23, 2026, the case explodes because Mohammed Bakr Saad, a 32-year-old Iraqi linked to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and Kataib Hezbollah, was accused in the United States of operating in a network of attacks against Americans and Jews. And now he is linked to a plan that allegedly put Trump's daughter in the crosshairs, including information about her residence in Florida. The political implications are serious. After the death of Qasem Soleimani, who was eliminated by Trump's order in 2020, the Iranian regime would not only be seeking a military response, but also a symbolic revenge. Personal and calculated against the household of the man who humiliated Tehran. The arrest of al-Saad exposes a broader trail with targeted cells in the West and a brutal message against the Trump family. What did Tehran really want to achieve? Why did Ivanka become a target? How did this network get so close? I'll tell you all about it in a moment, but right now you'll want to be subscribed to the channel to stay well informed. Real-time information in the best possible quality, journalism like you've never seen before, with the credibility standard of Milson Alves. The case gained traction because al-Saad doesn't just appear as an isolated militant speaking on social media. The United States Department of Justice announced on May 15, 2026 that he was arrested and charged with 6 crimes related to terrorism for allegedly acting as an operative for Kataib Hezbollah and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The indictment states that he was involved in nearly 20 attacks or attempted attacks in Europe and the United States targeting American interests, Israelis, and Jewish communities. The connection with Ivanka Trump appears within a context of political and military revenge. The motive cited is the death of Soleimani, a central figure in the Quds force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. For this group, Trump was not just the president who authorized the military operation. He became the symbol of the humiliation imposed on the Iranian regime. That's when the Trump family starts being treated as a psychological target. Harming Ivanka would be a way to try to bring the war into the political circle of the man who confronted Tehran without apologizing. Al-Saad was detained outside the United States and taken into American custody. According to the Department of Justice, he appeared before a federal court in Manhattan and was kept in custody while the case moves forward. The operation shows that Washington had already been monitoring a larger network, not just one name. The American government maintains that the accused directed and encouraged attacks against Americans and Jews both inside and outside American territory to serve the objectives of Kataib Hezbollah and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Department of Justice states that al-Saad worked closely with Qasem Soleimani and Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, the leader of Kataib Hezbollah, who was killed in the same American attack in 2020. After these deaths, according to prosecutors, he began to advocate actions against Americans and interests linked to Israel. Revenge stopped being just talk and became a criminal investigation in the United States. The trail attributed to al-Saad includes attacks and attempted attacks in Western cities. American authorities mention actions in Europe and threats within the United States, including targets in New York, California, and Arizona. Reuters reported that prosecutors accused the Iraqi of coordinating or supporting nearly 20 attacks and attempted attacks on European and American soil, focusing on Americans and Jews. The arrest also dismantles the comfortable narrative that these episodes are just isolated incidents. The interpretation that emerges is simple. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and its allied branches would not only operate in the Middle East, but would seek to spread fear in Western capitals, using intermediary networks and low-signature actions to deny direct involvement. The political attack against the Trump family has a clear calculation. The Iranian regime knows that Donald Trump turned Soleimani into an example of American strength. By targeting Ivanka, the accused network tries to respond not on the traditional military front, but on a family, symbolic, and psychological level. It's an attempt to damage the image of security that Trump built by promising a tough stance against Tehran. But the arrest of al-Saad produces the opposite effect. it reinforces the idea that Trump was right to treat the Islamic Revolutionary Guard as a real threat and not as a reliable negotiation partner. The news reports indicate that the accused allegedly talked about burning Trump's house as a response to the destruction inflicted on Iranian leaders. This statement, if confirmed in the case, sums up the tone of the plan. It wasn't just an ordinary threat, it was a message of direct revenge against the presidential family. The official statement itself says that authorities foiled a plot against a synagogue in Manhattan through a joint operation by the New York City police and federal partners. The fallout also puts pressure on the White House. Trump now faces a case that brings together national security, international terrorism, family protection, and confrontation with Iran. The question that's growing behind the scenes is, how big will the American response be? A purely legal response could move forward in the courts, with new charges, interrogations, and the search for accomplices. An intelligence response could target networks linked to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard in other regions. A political response could expand sanctions, freeze negotiation channels, and step up the pressure on Tehran's allies. The Iranian regime enters this episode in a dangerous position. At the same time that it tries to appear as a victim of American pressure, it sees an accused individual linked to its ecosystem being presented as part of an international network against civilians, Jews, Americans, and now even Trump's daughter. For the conservative audience, the conclusion is harsh. When Trump said that Tehran understood strength better than concession, he wasn't exaggerating. The Ivanka case shows an enemy that doesn't separate military conflict from revenge against family members. The arrest of Saad also opens a new investigative phase. American authorities should look for who financed, who facilitated travel, who provided logistical support, who received orders, and which cells may still be active. The most important thing now is not just to punish the accused, but to map out the structure that allowed an operator linked to groups supported by Iran to move around, communicate, and be associated with so many incidents in such a short time. Trump gets a powerful political talking point. While sectors of the old media treat Iranian threats as exaggeration or just background noise, the Department of Justice files a complaint that talks about real attacks, American targets, and an international network. Now the message goes from Washington to Tehran. Messing with the Trump family could cost much more than the regime imagined. I'm Milson Alves, Global International Relations Specialist, and my purpose is to keep you well informed with the truth every day. The news links are in the video description. Like this video, subscribe, and check the comments to get more involved with the Milson Alves global community.